Well, hey kids, welcome back to the channel. Rio here. Today is Wednesday, so today, of course, is the next in my series of film reviews. Those of you who have been following my channel for a little bit might realize that I am not in the same place today. Yes, that is because I am on a cast for a show this week. So I am in my trailer. It's not as cool as you think, literally. Trailer. Today we're going to be doing a chapter of a series I call Look What I Found, in which I will talk about whacked out crap that I have randomly discovered. And this is a great one to start with. Today we're going to be talking about a film called Apocalypse Clown. Okay, now number one, the title. Right? It's kind of all you need, really, you know? So I came across this thing randomly, and I'm very excited about it. I absolutely loved it. This is actually a film from Ireland. It was released in Ireland and the UK in 2023, but it only had the American release in 2024. So IMDb differs a bit on that. And as the title would suggest, clowns in the apocalypse.
In a world on the brink of chaos, as darkness takes hold, three heroes emerge with big hearts and even bigger shoes.
We are following a group of clowns. Literally, clowns. And how they are navigating through the end of the world. And it goes into a lot of good detail of the different types of clowns and personalities. They're all very unique. Each kind of has their own story coming into it.
Everything is obsolete except us.
The world is ours now. We're forming a troupe. Clownpedo. You know, like a torpedo of clowns.
One of the things that we see happen is we have a character named Dukak, who is the last and greatest clown in the world.
Laughter is the only sane response to a meaningless existence.
This performer has passed away. And so his funeral is kind of one of the opening events, which is what brings all of our characters together in the first place. And it's important to know that because that's why they're all there. Now don't get it twisted. This is a comedy. And not even a dark one, necessarily. I found this thing just laugh out hilarious. Okay, I loved this thing. So let's talk a little bit about it. Let's start with our writing cast, because that's really the important place to start. So our writing cast, okay, who are also performers in the movie as well, we'll address that as we go. Our writers are Damien Fox, Shane O'Brien, and James Walmsley. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Walmsley. Yeah, looks right. Y'all got to forgive me, by the way, because Irish names, this might not go well for me. So stick around for that level of humor. So all of these guys are actually members of a comedy troupe called Dead Cat Bounce. Okay, and Dead Cat Bounce was actually formed at Trinity College Dublin in 2008. They originally started as a band. I don't know for sure if musically they were comedy to begin with, or if they were a band and just decided they were funny. I'm not 100% on that part. But they started as a band. And this is actually not their first film, either. They did a film back in 2012. Was a mockumentary called Discoverdale. In which the band, Dead Cat Bounce, playing themselves, go on a journey of discovery throughout, like, you know, throughout like Norway and Sweden and stuff, because the lead singer is convinced that his absentee father is actually David Coverdale from Whitesnake. Yeah, it's got beautiful musical numbers and stuff in it, and that's really fun because it's both drama and hilarious and just ridiculous unto itself. Well, that was actually their first film. Maybe we'll talk about that one later, because I watched that one too. We'll talk about that one later, but an important thing to note is not only was David Coverdale involved in Discoverdale, but on 2:17 p.m. on December 7th, 2011, the members of Dead Cat Bounce were officially members of Whitesnake for 6 seconds. Okay, so the director on this thing is George Kane, who was also the director on Discoverdale. So he's another one that's been working with them for a while. He's done a lot of like Irish television and stuff, and short films. Listen, a lot of these people you're going to find did stuff in the UK and Ireland, so unless you really have access to a lot of that kind of entertainment, maybe you don't know who these people are. But I will note as it applies. So he's the director on this, and as I stated, the members of Dead Cat Bounce are the writers in Toto. Our DP is named David Grennan, and again, a lot of work in entertainment in Ireland. Now, the score for this one is actually done by Stephen McKeon. You would have actually heard his work. He's got like several like nominations and awards for his score compositions. I will specifically note two things you probably will be familiar with: Evil Dead Rise and Black Mirror. Okay, now FX is going to be interesting because there actually is quite a bit of it, and honestly, some interesting pedigrees working on the effects. So we're in no particular order. We're just going to go down the list of names that I happen to notice on the IMDb. Okay, so we have Aidan Byrne, who did special effects on Reign of Fire and The Count of Monte Cristo. We have Brendan Byrne. I don't know if it's a relation or not. Last Days on Mars and Cocaine Bear. Brian Joker Mulvey worked on V for Vendetta and The Medallion. Peter Redmond, who worked on Good Omens. And also Vikings. Get your drinks ready. The drinking game for this episode is Vikings. And our final effects artist that I listed was Owen Windsor, who worked on the series Wednesday, who worked on The Last Jedi, and Vikings. Alright, let's talk about our cast. I said before that kind of the clowns have very distinct personalities and distinct types. So, I'll try to keep this as concise as I can, explaining each one. So our primary clown is Bobo.
The world was done with clowning. It moved on to TikTok dances and live streaming hand jobs on the dark web.
So Bobo is being played by David Earl. And you might actually know David Earl. You may have seen his work in the past. He's done a lot of collaborations with Ricky Gervais. So you would have probably seen him in a lot of different things. Now the clown's traveling with him. Okay, we have Pepe, the pretentious wannabe mime.
What are we looking at?
I'm trapped in a box while screaming.
Okay, the other hand isn't helping.
Pepe is being played by Finn Foley. Fairly certain it's pronounced Finn. You would have seen him in other stuff. He was in Into the Badlands. Great series. And Vikings. And then, of course, we have another one, the great Alfonso, who was a former television clown. Okay, think like Bozo, right? A former television clown. Apparently, his career took quite a dip long before the world ended. The great Alfonso is being played by Ivan Kay from Vikings. And our final clown in this little traveling troupe is Natalie Palamides, I think it's pronounced. And you know who she is. I knew it the minute she opened her mouth, I knew who she was. Let me tell you who she is. Tiny Toons University, Merry Little Batman, Bob's Burgers, The Owl House, Amphibia. You have heard her voice. You know who she is. She has a number of live actions that are also listed in her IMDb, but those are the things that I was like, yep, I know who that is. Now, interesting enough, as I mentioned about Dukak, the world's greatest clown, you do get him for a little bit in the beginning of the movie. And he is being played by Barry McGovern. And you know Barry McGovern. He was in Braveheart. He was in Far and Away. He was in Joe versus the Volcano. He was in Waiting for Godot. This guy's been in a million things. You know who he is. You only get him for a little bit in the movie, but he's brilliant, as always. Now, one of the encounters they have, by the way, is the great Alfonso. Part of why his career went absolutely in the tank was because of apparently an accident on his television show involving a boy band. You guys have to watch the movie. It's too ludicrous. But the boy band is called Bromans. spelled with a Z because it's the 90s. So one of the characters we encounter is one of the surviving members of this boy band, who's Tim. Tim from Bromance. They call him that in its entirety, the whole movie. Tim from Bromance, who is like a conspiracy nut and a whole bunch. It's great. Just trust me on this one. Okay, so here's the part where I'm not going to say the name, because I know I'm going to get it wrong. And you would know him from the television series The Time Bandits. You would know him from the series Black Sails. Great show. And Vikings. So guys, this thing is a trip. It's kind of hard to explain it, to be honest. Without giving things away, without like actually ruining the experience, you just have to see this thing. It actually did win for Best Irish Film at the Galway Film Festival in 2023 when it came out. This thing is hilarious. It's very dry. You know, like a lot of your kind of UK style humor, it's very dry. But it's so ridiculous. And you actually do get real character studies. One of the things that happens in this movie is our character Bobo, as right before the world ends, he's trying to reunite with a girl that he had met years ago at a party, a girl named Jenny, who's now a reporter.
The world has gone dark. There's something big going on here, and if I'm right, it's bigger than all of us.
She's not a very good reporter, but she's a reporter, right? For like local news. And Jenny is being played by oh boy. I believe it's pronounced Amy DuBron. Vikings. Gotcha. You thought it was over. This thing is really good, you guys, because it has the characters aren't just like you know, little one-dimensional flat jokes. There's like real things happening with each one, and as ridiculous as the circumstances are that they're being the way they are, that it's stupid where they are, and you look at what they're going through, and you're like, really though? How is that even pathos? But for them, it is. Pepe is mourning the death of Ducoc, who he considers his master. You know, his mentor, his teacher of you know, the one he looked up to is his hero, right? You have Funzo, who is, she calls herself a street clown, trying to do street performances, but of course she's creepy, so that doesn't always go so well. And she's ostracized by any other flavor of clown. You know, no one will recognize any skill she has, and they just kind of shut her out, you know. Poor Bobo, who is trying so hard to try to have this relationship with Jenny, that he wants that, but she's all like, and no, because clown.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing?
Did I read the moment wrong?
And then, of course, the great Alfonso, who all he wants is his fame back. This guy's completely shallow. But we all know people like that are so obsessed with what do I get? What's for me? I know what I want, right? You get that a lot. We've known these people in the real world. And he's a very cartoon supervillain version of that, but yes. So it actually does, it's logical and it makes sense, no matter how ridiculous it seems. It's just hysterical from beginning to end. There was like everything to love about this. The places they filmed, the costume designs, the makeup designs. Like I said, Funzo, absolute highlight. She is my favorite thing in this movie. But everybody does a really good job. And while it just seems very surface cartoony, it's really not. There's actually a lot that's going on, and there's things to think about. Believe it or not.
Everyone dreams of dying doing what they love. What say we go out clowning?
Okay, kids, I guess that's going to be it for this week. There's a little like and subscribe button down here on the bottom someplace. You can hit that. And you can come and see what else I'm doing next. We have a bunch of different series that I do on here. There's always the Look What I Found, which is what this is. And of course there's I Like It and I Don't Care If You Don't. So it'll be different stuff all the time. And hopefully you'll come and join me for that. You'll get notifications and stuff if you hit the buttons, and you'll be able to join things. And I shouldn't be here next time. This show's only running for a week, and so I should be back home where I'm warm, because right now I'm not all that warm. Alright, kids, I will see you next time, and that's it.